Hello people, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, and welcome back to another beautiful day out here in Arizona, where today we're going to be doing some burnouts with the Miata. And there's a lot of different ways you can do a burnout. There's a lot of different techniques you can use, strategies, etc, etc. We're going to go over a couple of those, and I just want to show some people who don't know how to do a burnout, how to do a burnout. So, be right back. Alrighty guys, so first thing you want to do is to find a nice secluded place to do some donuts, burnouts, anything like that. Preferably a place with no people, no interference from law enforcement or anything like that, just because technically it is illegal. You can get a ticket, you can go to jail, etc, etc. Anyways, I'm not here to judge, I'm here to teach. So let's get started. So first thing you want to do is understand your vehicle. Is your car front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, anything like that? All wheel drive is really hard to do a burnout with. You need a decent amount of power, wheel chock, something like that. We won't talk about all wheel drive. So if your car's all wheel drive, sorry, kind of out of luck right now. But if your car is rear wheel drive or front wheel drive, it's super easy. For a rear wheel drive car, all you need to do is stop your front wheels from moving and have your rear wheels rotate, and that's what makes you do a burnout. The more rotations you do, the more smoke you'll have, the cooler you'll look, etc, etc. If you have a front wheel drive car and you want to do a burnout, you want to have your front wheel spinning and your rear wheel stopped, and the more smoke you have, the more spins you have, obviously the more smoke you have. If you're not sure whether your car is front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, easy way to check is to see if you have a rear differential. If you can get underneath the bottom of your car, if you have that little pumpkin thing back there, that means your car is rear wheel drive. It's called a differential. Another way to check if your car is front wheel drive or rear wheel drive is if your car has the engine mounted forward, like it's mounted long ways, and you can see the exhaust pipe on the side and the belts in the front, that means your car is also rear wheel drive, because it means your car goes backwards and the power goes to the back. If your engine is mounted sideways, you can see like kind of a sideways valve cover. That means it's front wheel drive, because the transaxle goes on either side of the engine and then it powers the two front wheels. Another way to determine if your car is front wheel drive or rear wheel drive is just to look it up on Google. It's really easy to find out. If your car has AWD on the back, it's probably four wheel drive, so you can't do a burnout unless you have a decent bit of power. Most Japanese cars are actually front wheel drive. This one's rear wheel drive because it's technically a sports car. Most sports cars are either rear wheel drive or all wheel drive. If you have like a Honda Civic, Toyota Camry, anything like that, usual sedans, they're pretty much all front wheel drive. That includes minivans, SUVs, stuff like that. Most American cars, besides muscle cars, sports cars, anything like that, are front wheel drive. Probably shouldn't even say any of this because there's so many exceptions. If you're not sure if your car is front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, you can look it up. It's super simple. Just look up, Honda Civic, front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, etc. If you're not sure if your car's front wheel drive or rear wheel drive, just comment below. I'll let you know, because I know most cars, because that's pretty much my entire life, to be honest with you. Anyways, I digress. Let's get started. So to make a rear wheel drive car, like the Miata, do a burnout, what you're gonna do is actually make the front wheel stop and then keep the rear wheel spinning. As soon as the wheels start spinning, they're gonna get the tires nice and hot, and the hot tires are actually gonna have less traction, and they're gonna make it so that it's just pretty much getting more and more tire wear, and your front wheels will stay still. So the way you do that is you apply the brakes. When you apply the brakes in most cars, most of the power actually goes to the front wheels, and like I was saying before, when these tires are nice and hot and they've burned out for a second or so, you won't need the brakes at all. If you have a rear wheel drive car, that's how you want to do a burnout. Now if you have a front wheel drive car, you want to actually stop the rear wheels from moving. This is a lot easier. All you have to do is pull the e-brake. Some cars have a handle, some cars have a little switch that goes down there. Just find out where your e-brake is, activate your e-brake, and it's going to lock your rear wheels in place. Now the next part is very important. So before I turn my engine on, you want to have the maximum amount of revs when you start your burnout. If your car is manual, you have a huge advantage, but there's one more step. If your car is automatic, it's a little bit easier because there's one less step, but you can't do it as well. So when you're doing a burnout with a manual car, you're going to give it some revs, 4,000 or 5,000 revs. You're going to press the clutch and leave it in first gear. Now instead of just popping the clutch like that, you can actually pop the clutch by just letting it slide off of your foot. If it slides off of your foot like that, it's actually going to give it the spring doing all the work. and if the spring's doing all the work, it's actually going to release the clutch as quickly as possible. Now you can just do it like that, especially if you have a lot of power in your car. I usually just do it like that, but if your car is a little bit underpowered, doesn't make enough power or something like that, you can actually pop your clutch by just moving your foot over a little bit. If you have an automatic car, if your car is rear-wheel drive, all you have to do is press the brake, press the gas, give it some revs, give it more revs until the rear wheels start burning. As soon as the rear tires start getting nice and hot, then you can actually just release the brake, and then you'll either start just skidding forward, or you'll just kind of stop in place and do that burnout. If your car is front-wheel drive and you want to do a burnout, all you have to do is, like I was saying, pull the e-brake, slam the gas, and that is the most you can do. Alright, so enough talk, let's get to it. So if you're worried about doing damage to your car while doing burnouts and stuff, it does do a little bit of damage. It's not like a victimless crime, as some people like to call it. It's gonna cost you some money for tires, especially if your car is more powered, especially if you have a truck like that with a lot of torque. The more power your car has, the faster it's gonna make your tires actually spin, and it's gonna do more damage to your tires. So obviously this Miata, little 15-inch wheels, don't care about the tires. They're not that expensive. I think they're like 40 or 50 bucks a piece if I get them brand new. If they're used, 20 to 25 bucks. Super easy to do a burnout. It just takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of perfection to make the car actually stand in place and do its burnout and all that. It does a lot of damage to the axles, a lot of damage to the differential. I don't have a spare waiting for those. I have a spare engine, no spare differential axle. So as soon as I'm ready to do that, you know what? I haven't done one for the vlog yet. So let me go ahead and just do one standing burnout. Shouldn't do any damage. Alright guys, I have some great news. Remember the tires that were sitting right over here? Guess what? They have wheels in them now. So, let's put them on the Jeep. I really want to see how they look like. I moved some stuff back here a little bit. This is the next project. The jet ski that I've had sitting in the backyard for the better part of a year. This is the next thing that I'm going to be working on. I don't know if I'm going to put it on the vlog yet. May or may not be on the vlog. So, anyways, let's put some tires on the Jeep. The Jeep actually looks like it's gonna crawl now. already, and all that's left now is just to leave them to see if the valve stems are leaking. I have some valve stems actually over in that toolbox over there, so not a big deal if they're leaking at all. I'm just gonna see if they lose any air over the next couple days. Shouldn't need an alignment, but I definitely need a balance, so I'm also gonna take those to get balanced the next day or two. But yeah, the Jeep is good to go. I'm still actually thinking about doing something to the Miata now, so no thanks to you guys. I want to put a very big spoiler back there, so I don't know how big I want to go. Maybe just go kind of the standard JDM, you know, foot and a half ones that go to either end. I might go full big wang and go all the way up here. Not 100% sure yet. I'm gonna look to see if there's anything local. If not, I'll just probably order something online. The Miata doesn't do 120 miles an hour. Well, it does, but the Miata doesn't do much more than 120 miles per hour, so it doesn't need to be like, you know, super sporty, racy or anything like that. It just needs to be able to look good. It's supposed to keep the wheels on the ground better, so we'll see with that. And that is actually going to effectively end today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. If you guys enjoyed today's video, I can't tell you what to do, but there's a button for it. If you guys want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you guys learned anything about doing burnouts or anything like that, give me a comment below. Anyways, hope you guys have a great day.